Hello, my name is Dr. Sarah Dilling. I am your professor this semester for Introduction to Environmental Science. Now that we've gotten the whole access code debacle past us and we're able to get into the textbook, we can go ahead and start the course for this semester. You can see on your screen I am on the home page. I am in student view, so it should look very similar to what your home page looks like. You can scroll down and see the calendar for the class. Your attendance verification stuff is all due today. I will be turning in my attendance verification reports tomorrow. Most of you have completed it, so that's not an issue. I did send an email out to those people who have not finished everything they need to get done. So then we're going to move on to chapters 1 and 2. The due date is Saturday, September 1st. It's kind of a soft due date because of the whole access code and people kind of falling behind. I will accept assignments and not count them late through Saturday 9/8 for chapters 1 and 2. So I didn't officially change the due dates, but I will accept them until Saturday the 8th without any sort of point penalty. For some of the students who are dual enrollment, if that due date still isn't going to work for you because the school has not given you your textbooks, please email me. With all of the emails I've received the last week or so, your email may have been lost in the shuffle with everything else that was going on. So touch base with me again if you are a dual enrollment student and you do not think you'll have your book by the 1st, and that'll push you back even farther than the 8th, but usually they get them pretty quick to you. So let's move on to chapters 1 and 2. Go into your module section. Most of you have done this already when you purchased your textbook, so this is not new information. You can see here in the modules, the orientation and course information is still open. If you're done with that, you can go ahead and close it. That way it doesn't litter your whole screen. So then for Mastering Environmental Science, you have course home, assignments, scores, your textbook, and the study area. I never really use course home. The assignments is where you'll go to for your reading quizzes, your lab activities, and the extra credit, which I'll go over in just a minute. Here's how to see your scores in Mastering. This is where you click to see your textbook. And then there's a study area as well. So let's go ahead first and click the e-text so you can see what it looks like. It'll open up in a new window. I've already done it because I can't do it in student view. So this is what the front of your textbook should look like. And then you would flip through it page by page for the e-text. I really don't ever use the e-text. I get the physical textbook. I'm kind of old school that way. I like to have the actual book to look through. All right. So we are going into chapter 1. To start off with, you read the chapter. Chapters 1 and 2 is the first week's assignments. So make sure you go through and you read those chapters 1 and 2. And then when you think you're ready for your reading quiz, you can go into your modules, click assignments, and this is what will open. I have it right now in calendar view. I did get some emails already that on the list view it's a little confusing, but I'll show you that in 1 second. On the calendar view, you can see here what's due this coming Saturday. All of my assignments are due on Saturday. I know some of you have other jobs and lots of other classes and things going on. So usually Saturday by midnight is when all my assignments are due. You can look here, September, October, all right? So then if we go into list view, this is where it might look a little confusing. You can sort these columns if you sort them by due date. Now that's upside down, there we go. Then you'll see kind of what's all due, the same due date for that first chapter. Otherwise, they'll do it by title and everything could be mixed up. So just go ahead and click by due date and everything will come up in order. I usually kind of stay on the calendar view. It's easier for me to see, and I assume it probably is for you as well. So then if you were to click into your reading quiz, now this is going to look a little bit different. Let me just get out of my view, go to your view. All right, so it's going to tell you that there are 25 questions. They're all multiple choice, and you have 60 minutes to complete the reading quizzes. I do not accept late work, except for this chapter 1 and 2 this semester. There's no 10% off every day or anything like that. When it comes to these quizzes, I want them done by the due date that I have stated. You have a whole week to do it. You can even work ahead if you want. You just can't turn them in late. So once you're ready to take this quiz, you go ahead and hit start now, and it'll open up the quiz. It's worth 100 points, 25 questions. You have 1 hour to complete it. It's not going to take that long. It's a pretty quick multiple choice quiz. So that is that. And then lab activity is pretty similar. This one on this particular lab, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions, but they're all broken up into different sections. So it takes a little bit while to go through. These are different viewpoints, kind of reviewing some vocabulary, do some activities. I kind of like the lab activities to kind of get you in that mode for the quiz. My suggestion for chapters and taking the quizzes in the labs is to, again, read the chapters, go through the PowerPoint, take notes, kind of study your notes, then go in and do your lab activity. Then what I suggest after you do your lab activity is to go into these dynamic study modules. These modules are 100% optional extra credit. You do not have to do them, but they are a very good way to help you study for the reading quiz. You don't have to do them. They have the same due dates as the chapter quiz and the lab activities, but they kind of just go through the topics to help you kind of study for those reading quizzes and the type of questions that you might see on the reading quizzes. Let's see what happens when I open up. Okay, so this is what one of the study modules look like for the first chapters 1 through 10. So you just read the question, you answer the question, see which of the following is a part of the natural nitrogen cycle. So you go through here, you figure out which one you think that it is. You can either put I don't know, and it'll help you review, or you can pick one of the answers and answer whether I am unsure. Click again. Oops, we have to continue. And tell you I am sure. So let's see. If I were just to pretend and say I am sure about this one and we hit submit, it says I'm wrong. And then after a few questions, it'll go back and help you understand the topics that you got wrong. And then it'll give you a score at the end. So that's kind of how the study dynamics go. So you can put I am unsure, I am sure, I don't know. And it'll help you kind of study and find the areas of those chapters that you're not really familiar with. So again, let's try this one. Which is true of human impacts on the global water cycle? Asphalt and pavement increase the amount of groundwater. That's not true. That's not true. So let's say here, withdrawals of surface water and groundwater for agriculture, industry, and domestic uses deplete river, lakes, and aquifers. And that's correct. Then it moves on to the next question. So that's kind of how that goes. They're pretty easy. And again, they're only extra credit. You do not have to do them. If you think you want a little more help studying for the reading quizzes, they are a great tool. All right. So then one other thing I want to go through real quick before it cuts me off is in the Mastering Environmental Science. I had mentioned a little bit when it comes to your midterm and your final exam. There are no study guides. We're not allowed to do study guides anymore. So they have the study area that you can go into. The study area is really good because it kind of puts together, you can do a bunch of different things. Oh, it's not going to let me because I'm student view. All right, hold on one second. Let me pause this. All right, so if you're interested in doing the study module for this class, there are no, like I said, there are no study guides for midterms or finals any longer, but Mastering has a really good tool for you to use to help you study for these tests. You can go into the study resources, you can study by chapter, you can make practice tests, they have word study tools. You can also make a cumulative test, which is really nice for the midterm and the final. You can go through and pick, say for example, chapters 1 through 6, and say you want 40 questions and create quiz, and it'll make a quiz with those 6 chapters involved. So it makes it really nice when you're trying to study. You can go through all of these and kind of look at everything and figure it out. If you want, you can do study by chapter before you take a reading quiz. It's not really necessary. I think if you read the chapter and go through the PowerPoints, which I don't know if I showed you. Let me close out. And again, I'm in my side of it, so it's going to look a little different than yours. So if you go into chapter 1, this kind of tells you a little bit about what the chapter involves. Here's some guiding questions for chapter 1, chapter 2. Here's a PowerPoint presentation for chapter 1, chapter 2. This just kind of tells you that there's an extra credit module that's set up. Again, I showed you how to do that in Mastering, the reading quiz, and the lab activity. So when you're ready to go into the presentation, you're going to click it, and it will open up the PowerPoint presentation for that chapter. There it is. All right. Don't be concerned if it has the 5th edition. I think they're still working on some of these bugs. I'm just happy that everybody has gotten in. The 5th edition is isn't much different than the 6th edition. They might not have made PowerPoint presentations yet for the 6th edition. So don't freak out. Mine's showing the 5th edition as well. But everything is fine and set up with no problems. So I think I've kind of gone through everything. The last point is with grades. Mastering and Canvas are not completely integrated, so I have to transfer your grades from Mastering into Canvas. I usually do so the Monday or Tuesday after your due date. If you really want to see your grades in Mastering as soon as you're done taking a quiz, you can go into the Mastering module and click on Scores. If you want to see your overall grades, you would click on Grades, which I'm not going to click on right now because it'll show you other students' grades. And then those are the overall grades for the class. I highly, highly suggest you double check me. Check your scores in Mastering and make sure when I transfer them over into Canvas that they are correct. I am human. I do make mistakes. I try really hard not to. But definitely for your own grades, make sure I'm doing everything correctly and I don't hit something backwards or put the wrong number in, because that can make a big difference. So always check up on me the entire semester as we go. If you ever have any questions, please feel free to email me. And now hopefully there are no more issues with the class and we can get moving and have a great rest of our semester. Thank you so much. Have a great day.